Welcome to the channel, viewers of the Shaw Family Videos, the Russ Shaw channel. I don't know what to call this thing. I want to share some vinyl finds, some physical media beauties I got this last week or two. Saturday morning, my phone goes off at 8:30 in the morning with a text message from my daughter, and it is of a yard sale north of here, and it says, you know, all the different stuff, like we're selling furniture, we're selling pots and pans, we're selling, you know, knickknacks and whatnots, right? But at the bottom of it, it said, and maybe 1,000 vinyl LPs. And I'm like, oh my God, right? Now, there's some context to this too, because this was a rough week in the gig work world. So I worked exceptionally. I was very busy. Not that I totally overbooked myself, but I worked a little more than I usually put my body through in a week. So Saturday morning rolls around, and I'm a guy who sleeps in. Like, I am not a freaking morning person, all right? Part of this is the traffic around here. So I purposely start my day at 10 a.m., right? I book gigs at 10 to 11 in the morning just because for me to drive into the city, it's going to take an hour if it's rush hour. So once rush hour dissipates, I can get to the city in like 20 minutes, half hour, right? So anyway, I've had a long week. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't get up early. Oh, thousands of like LPs. And it says Saturday only, right? Saturday only, come down, right? So I'm like, oh, yeah, get in the car, start up the car. I'm like, all right. I go down to this thing, and this was interesting. I'm looking through bins of records. Like, he has all these bins set out. He had a bunch of CDs, but he goes, yeah, a lot of the good stuff is over here. And I guess because he kind of left the stuff out, or it was morning and he hadn't pulled the stuff out, but he had it in like some of his cars. So this guy had like a whole bunch of like, it was like almost like a junk store kind of thing going on. But it was all outdoors. So I'm like thumbing through records in the front seat of Dodge Dakota. So that's like going through the bins, right? And I found some pretty good stuff, man. I was glad I went. When the prices were a little steep, I would have got more stuff, but this is what I did get. And being that it's during the Halloween-y season, it's kind of cool that he had some, fall festive related items. Check it out. I got my ghost mask on Amazon. This came in the mail. It's the nameless ghoul. I can be a nameless ghoul for Halloween when the kiddies come for trick-or-treating, which is fun. Now, going back to 1987, this is a single. It's like a 12-inch single kind of thing. It's got 2 songs on the back, and which is kind of cool, right? 12-inch singles are a little better than a 45. On a 45, you get 2 songs. You get 3 songs on here. And the artwork is really cool. So this is, 1987, Dream Warriors, the theme from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And they named the movie the same name as the song. I don't know what the story is with that, but that's pretty cool. Dawkins, the song came out at the same time the movie came out. Back for the Attack came out in 1987. It's interesting how it seemed like in 87 Dawkins' popularity was waning, but because of the film, and this song was probably their biggest single. I think the movie had a lot to do with that, but it's just a lot of dead wax on a on a single. But 12-inch single, but yeah, the sleeve isn't a lot, right? I don't know if there was a... I mean, come on, man. You're plugging the film. Like, have a decent sleeve, too, right? Yeah. So, interesting. Dawkins. Love the band. I remember I've seen Dawkins open for just Scorpions, I want to say. It was back in the day, man. I just went a lot of shows, but Dokken was great to see live, and they're amazing band. Was the movie great? It was all right, you know. I don't know. I'm still a Nightmare on Elm Street 1 person. I think that was the best movie of the series, in my opinion. I mean, did you watch all these movies? Maybe give me your comments in the comment section. If you haven't, they're pretty cool. They're all right. I don't know. It's just a lot that starts to weigh on you. The second one. This one's probably better than the second one, in my opinion. But yeah, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just a great concept for a, you know, horror, scary film. Everyone has nightmares, bad dreams, and what if a character, you know, this character can get into your dreams? And, that's spooky. Anyhow, found this one, Blondie. This is 1979. Eat to the Beat. You know, there's fast food people out there that were just like, oh man, we gotta get that on our advertising. Eat to the beat. But this is cool. It's a little punk too. I mean, Blondie, living in the real world, that's like a punk song. But yeah, my wife really likes Blondie. I like Blondie. I like this album. This is a great album, and it was $10. This was $10. It's in pretty good shape. It's not in phenomenal shape. It's not. Is it VG? I don't know. It has a good scratch. You can't hear the scratch though. That's interesting, right? You ever get a record that's scratched like that? It's like got a nick on it. You can visually see it, and you're like, or you know, you're thumbing through records, you see it. I almost didn't pay this price because of that. But when I put it on the turntable, it sounds great. I can't even hear the, you know. So I was happy with that. Anyhow, another Halloween-y one. This is more of a score, but it's Halloween 4, and it's got, you know, all the cuts of the, you know, Michael Myers song. I don't know, that probably didn't sound right. That's so anything like Halloween, the song. Also want to share this with you. I got this in the mail. This came in, speaking of Ghost, this is a 7-inch. This is from Halloween, 5, I guess it was, that came out in 21. This is Hunter's Moon, you know, and it's got Halloween Kills, main title. But yeah, this was pretty cool. And so what's interesting is this song came out before the record did, the LP. So this 7-inch was a part of the movie, I suppose, but it doesn't really. Oh yeah, it does say John Carpenter's Halloween Kills. That's right at the top there in the corner. But yeah, anyway, my point is that this record came out before the release in 2022. Impera? I want to say Impreza, but that's a Subaru. So, but yeah, I have that record too. But this is a cool little thing to put up during Halloween time, Halloween-y time. Hunter's Moon. That's a cool song. Another record we got at the big yard sale that I drove out to, that was out in a big parking lot surrounded by cyclone fence and old cars, is The Cars. This is a record that has been eluding me for a long time. And sure, I could have bought this, you know, that's one of those things about digging through vinyl and trying to find, right? The thrill of the find. Sure, I could have got this on eBay, right? Or Discogs. But I don't know, I've been wanting this record for years, like a few years. I've been digging through these bins, you know, in the Seattle area for, you know, record stores started popping up again around 2015. I mean, they've been around, but some went closed, and then record collecting became more of a thing again around 2015. It started to, right? And then, yeah, so then I really got into digging for records. This one eluded me, man. I wanted this record for a long time. One of my favorite songs on this album is Moving in Stereo. Let the Good Times Roll. A lot of this stuff is on their greatest hits stuff, you know. Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed. Bye Bye Love, You're All I've Got Tonight. Like I could do a whole talk on that song. There's a lot of songs. I've been thinking about doing that, like songs that influence the heart, like make an impact on your heart, right? Like, what is the heart? It's like that old, I guess it's an old ancient Jewish metaphor that your life is pumping, like your fleshy meat pump right here is pumping blood all the way out to your fingertips, to the tips of your toes, to your brain. You know, your heart is like your motivation. Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? Why do you, right? Like what you like, what your heart is into, you know, love relationships. My heart was broken. When someone says that, usually means their motivation's down. I feel like their wings have been clipped, right? When your heart is broken. So that metaphor is important, and there's just a lot of really good music that touches on some of that. I'd love to talk about some of that, I suppose, in a future episode. This is Fastway, Waiting for the Roar. I like Fastway, band from back in the 80s, man. They have another song. They did there was a movie called Trick or Treat. It wasn't a great movie. Ozzy was actually an actor in this movie, which was interesting. So Ozzy Osbourne was in it. Fastway did the song Trick or Treat. It's pretty cool. But like this record, I was glad I got it like $5. Most of these were $5. A few of them were 10. I believe this one was 10, just because it's sought after, and this is Commander Cody's Ozone. And as a car guy, any of you fans of the automotive world are probably fans of this song. This is Hot Rod Lincoln. My pappy said, son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that Hot Rod Lincoln. And this was a really cool find. I got this best of. It was like $5, and it's in really good shape. It's in phenomenal shape. Deep purple, deepest purple. So that one's a good find. And he had a bunch of CDs there, so I got some of those. Share some of those with you. This is one of those that I got. You know, I mean, I heard a few singles from the record. I was just sort of, I don't know, just the way that the whole band, kind of their story unfolded. I was a little bit bitter towards this album, you could say. But then I was watching Nick over there at the Vinyl Den, and he talks about this, and he's like, yeah, it's a good, because it's one of my favorite Guns N' Roses records. As an album, it's a good piece of art, you know. So I got it based on his recommendation. I'm gonna sit and listen to the whole. I think I've tried to on like Spotify or something, and I don't know. I just couldn't get past that. Just the way things ended up with the band, right? Interesting. The Rolling Stones, Flashpoint. All these had like, some of them had like this guy had a store. He bought them from a music store that went out of business or something. Steel Wheels Tour, 1989 through 90, Urban Jungle World Tour. Rolling Stones, Flashpoint. All these were $1, by the way. I don't know why, but Sugar Ray is like kind of a summery band. It still feels like summer here in the Seattle area. It hasn't rained a whole lot. We've had a few trace rain here. It's another smoky day out there. The wind is coming from the east. We have wildfires in the mountains, which is annoying because it smells like, you leave the house, it smells like a campfire. And not even a good campfire. It smells like burning leaves. Like, it's nasty out there, but it still feels a little bit like summer. So I like it's going to be almost like, what, 75 today? And it's, right? We're past the first week of October and it's still 75 outside. So can't complain too much. I got this one. I've had this before, this CD. I like this CD, Aerosmith, 9 Lives. It's a cool record, interesting music by the Aerosmith boys from Boston there. This is a good CD. Glad I found it for $1. Genesis, Invisible Touch. I have the vinyl on this. I didn't have the CD, so now I have the CD, which is cool. So that one's fun. Bon Jovi, New Jersey. This is a great Bon Jovi record. It's probably one of my favorites. It's in the top 3 anyway. Some other stuff I got. Stopping at Daybreak Records in the city, in between jobs, or sometimes when I'm coming home, like if I end a job at 5 o'clock, again, I just hate sitting in traffic. Frustrating. So I'd rather just stop and either go for a walk or go to the record stores and thumb through some bins instead of sitting there doing 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour driving home, looking at a street sign that says 60, right, at the top. And I can see the grass growing out of it and ants and stuff going up and down. It's 60 miles an hour, sure. Anyway, Otis Redding. This is Mr. Jimi Hendrix Experience. Otis Redding and Jimi Hendrix. It's basically a historical performance record from the Monterey International Pop Festival. This was recorded in 1967. June 16th, 17th, and 18th of 1967 was this amazing record. Otis Redding, interesting thing about Otis Redding, a lot of people don't know this, his connection with Aretha Franklin. So Aretha Franklin wrote she didn't write it. I mean, she made a really great cover of the song Respect, which is by Mr. Otis Redding. Hendrix's stuff on this record is great too. And I like to hear him talk, like when he's like saying stuff, like he's an interesting cat, like he does a little vocal intros on this. But Otis Redding wrote Respect. A man wrote Respect. Go figure. Yes, women like respect too. But it's kind of cool that she covered that and flipped that from being a super masculine thing to being a feminine, not necessarily authoritarian isn't really the right word I want to say, but respect is just value someone's presence, right? And I think men have a way more, right, like that gets into us, like, well, don't disrespect me, or you better value my being here. Whether it's work or, what things we do, like respect for men is like, holy smokes, it can even be a problem for a lot of us. So, Aretha writing about that and women being respected, like, and you just think about the 60s and early 70s, how women were thought of respect-wise at that time here in the United States was like just a different thing. Another one I got at the old Daybreak Records there was Blue Oyster Cult. Speaking of a Halloween-y kind of record. So this, back before the Satanic Panic in the 80s, this album came out, I believe it was 1975, right? Yep, 1975, CBS Records. You got them there in like a cathedral or something, and they're, right, busting out, and you got a book in the back with black gloves. It's so scary. I don't know, that might be devil music, Russ. I'm not sure. On Your Feet, On Your Knees is the title of the album. Right? That's not controversial at all. And yeah, having the limo there in front of the church. This was a great find, although it's pretty beat up. This is a pretty beat up record. But I love this record. It's got a song on here that is amazing. It changed my life. You're going to serve somebody, right? It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to serve somebody. It has me thinking about work. Like, you get a job, and why do you get a job? Well, because you need money. Yeah. You know, is that right? What do we do when we don't have something to do with our hands, right? What is life like? Like you're serving people. You're always serving somebody. That whole idea of idle hands or the devil's workshop, whatever that means. To create something, to have an expression of art, or to go out and serve where you can meet the needs of your fellow humans in some way. You know, it brings value. It's good. It's for a good heart condition, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, who do you serve? What does that mean? That's raising these questions and thinking about those kinds of ideas is really great. And Bob Dylan, this album, I will say, also is pretty overtly Christian, even though he's not, like, he talks about spirituality in a way in sort of loose terms, but I think philosophically it's probably one of his most, you know, like, Christian-y albums of his catalog, so to speak. Johnny Cash as well. Johnny Cash would always cover a hymn. I think it was my father-in-law was telling me about, like, that it was his tithe to every piece of music he made. He would make he would include some sort of gospel cover of some sort. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like it. Please like the video if you enjoy it. It helps us out tremendously as creators. It's just a weird thing that it's a YouTube thing. And it's weird, like, even though I've been doing this for a long time, I have to be reminded to click the like button. Like, I know it helps the creator who makes the content that I'm watching, but it's almost like I still have to be reminded. So I'm just reminding you here to please like the video. And yeah, if this stirs up some thought, leave a comment. Why not? I'd love to hear from you. I like talking about music, even more than talking about cars. I do like talking about cars too. I like more talk about the artistic vision of the vehicles and how they're put together, how they look and how they sound and stuff like that, more than I like talking about how, you know, a spark plug is wired by wires or a coil pack or you know what I'm saying? Like, the engineering stuff isn't that thrilling for me as much as the design and the beauty of a car / a record, so to speak. Later. Bye.